Hello everyone. Welcome to the official YouTube channel of The Law IQ. I am Meghna and today I am here with a very interesting topic, that is the Agnipath scheme. So without a further ado, let's start. What exactly is the Agnipath scheme? This is a recruitment process launched by the central government where selected candidates will be enrolled as Agniveers for the period of 4 years in the Indian Armed Forces. The Armed Forces will be recruiting 46,000 Agniveers this year through the Agnipath scheme. On completion of the 4th year period, Agniveers will go to the society as disciplined, dynamic, motivated and skilled workforce for employment in other sectors to pursue their careers in the job of their own choice. This step is initiated for the recruitment of Agniveers to the Indian Army, Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force. The entry would be done for a period of 4 years initially. During these 4 years, the recruits would be trained by the armed forces, and this is a transformative initiative that will provide a youthful profile to the armed forces. Who exactly are the Agniveers? The youth selected under the Agnipath scheme will be categorized as Agniveers. They will be offered an opportunity to apply for permanent enrollment in the armed forces after a period of 4 years. The youths falling in the age group of 17.5 years to 23 years who favor patriotism, teamwork, enhancement of physical fitness, ingrained loyalty to the country and availability of trained personnel to boost national security in times of external threats, internal threats and natural disasters can apply through the Agnipath Yojana to become Agniveers. The latest updates related to the Agnipath scheme are as follows. The incentives. The Ministers of Home Affairs and Defence announced concessions and incentives that will assist Agniveers in their future employment. The revised age limit is of 23 years. This is the upper age limit. Reservation policies are as follows. The government has announced a 10% reservation for Agniveers in Central Police Forces and Assam Rifles with upper age relaxation. The training, as per the Army Chief General Manoj Pandey, the training of the first Agniveers will begin this December in 2020-22 at the centers. Moving on to the purpose of the Agnipath scheme. The main purpose of central government is to introduce the Indian Army to the Agnipath entry scheme with the aim of training the youth and to make a cut in retirement as well as in pensions. Indian government has come up with this scheme in order to strengthen the security forces. Selected candidates will be trained professionally and then they will be recruited within the areas like Jammu and Kashmir border. One of the most important thing to focus about this recruitment is that there will be no entrance test for the youth. After getting selected, the candidates will go through training for 6 months and then they will be inducted for 3.5 years in order to make them ready for joining the armed forces as professionals. Let's take a quick look at the pros and cons of the Agnipath scheme. So, to begin with the pros. There is a fundamental change in the military's recruitment practices. There is a special chance for young people to help the nation and contribute to nation building. A young and active persona for the armed forces is introduced. Agniveers have the chance to receive training from the greatest universities and improve their abilities and credentials. They will also receive a one-time Seva Nidhi package at the end of the 4-year engagement, which will include both their contribution and collected interests. Coming to the cons, there is no pilot scheme to evaluate the plan. It will weaken the military culture, professionalism and combat spirit. A minimum of 7 to 8 years are required to prepare a soldier for combat, but the Agnipath scheme gives only 4 years. Agniveers will be cautious and most of them will be seeking another job after the completion of the 4th year. It may also result in militarization of society and the annual unemployment of 35,000 adolescents with war experience. Currently, the Agnipath scheme is a very controversial issue. And the main reason for this are the protests that are being carried out. Thousands of youngsters who are staging protests in parts of Bihar, UP and Haryana are demanding an immediate rollback of this scheme. The protests are carried as the radical scheme to recruit the bulk of soldiers for only 4 years will hit professionalism, regimental ethos and fighting spirit of the army. The highlights of the protests are going around the country as the Punjab police was directed to be on alert in view of the possible Bharat Bandh on 20th June against the newly launched Agnipath scheme for the recruitment in the military, informed the officials on Sunday. Due to operational reasons, 31 trains terminated at various railway stations in Delhi and Ghaziabad, along with Mumbai-bound trains for Punjab, were remained cancelled on the 20th of June. Schools in Jharkhand were shut in view of the bandh called over the Agnipath recruitment.